Right. So let's get started. So we have our 2 blocks, blanket and a bolster. All right. So we're going to begin on the back body. Have your blocks nearby, framing at your mat, one on the right side, one on the left side. You can also have your blanket nearby as well. And the blanket can be how it came off the pile and folded in half once just to support your head and your neck. If at any point in time you need more or less, slide that out of the way and just bring it off to the side. So take your time. Like I said, we're channeling the metal element in class today. We're working with the lung and large intestine meridian line. Lung 1 starts kind of right underneath the end of the collarbone and that little divot there. So we'll work with that as we make our way onto our back bodies, and I will meet you on your back body. So take your time to get there. And once you arrive on the back body, just allow yourself to land. And once you land on the back body, make sure that the support underneath your head and your neck is supporting you. You can slide the blanket until it meets the tips of the shoulder blades. And then just allow yourself to land here. And over the next few rounds of breath, check in and notice where your feet are resting or your legs are resting. You can have a bend in your knees or you can extend the legs long. Both ways work. Maybe try both. And then check in and notice where your back body is resting. Come to notice where your head and your neck have landed. And then get a little curious about where your arms and your hands are in this moment. So as we start to embrace fall, this in a traditional Chinese medicine perspective invokes the element of metal. And metal at this particular time of year is an invitation for us to take a pause and to begin to let go of things that may not serve us, so that we feel a sense of a little bit almost weightlessness as we eventually prepare ourselves for winter. So fall is like the preparation for winter. It gets our bodies ready. It reminds us that the ground is always there for us, that sense of groundedness, that the earth always has us, even when everything above us and around us is changing. Leaves are falling, air gets drier, maybe a little bit windier. All of those changes can happen, but the earth is our constant. And while all those changes are happening, especially at this time of year, can we channel a sense of awe for what's happening around us and for all the beauty that this time of year provides? So the affirmation I've been working with this week is breathing in the word in, breathing out the word awe. So as you continue to ground, just take a pause and notice your breath exactly as it is in this moment. Invitation to breathe in the word in, and breathe out the word awe. You can say it silently to yourself, Or you can say it out loud because you're practicing in the space that's just yours. So stay with that affirmation for the next few rounds of breath, breathing in the word in, breathing out the word awe. And then at the bottom of your next exhale, invitation to maybe take a bend in your knees if your legs had been extended this whole time, just to start to begin to wake up that lower body a little bit. You can slide the feet toward the outer edge of the mat and let the knees track in towards one another, finding a shape of constructive rest. And as you're here, take your finger pads, maybe like the first, third, and fourth fingers, and just bring them to the collarbones first. So trace along the collarbones for a moment, but trace along the collarbones until you meet the outer edge of your collarbone. And then slide the hands down into almost that divot or that space that's right underneath sort of the outer edge of the collarbone. That's the home of lung 1 and lung 2. And you're just going to make little circles with your hands in that space. And then make little circles in the opposite direction as you feel ready. And then pause here. Crisscross your arms and allow the opposite hand to find that exact same spot. It's like you're making a little X. Finger pads find the same spot, but this time instead of making little circles, you're just going to gently tap a few times on each side of the space. Awesome. And then take a pause from that movement. Give yourself an opportunity. Next inhalation, draw the arms out to the sides into a goalpost shape. They might just hover above your mat. And on your exhalation, crisscross the arms once again. Find that same placement for the fingers, but maybe the opposite arm is on top. Inhale, arms roll back out to the sides, goalposting them. Exhale, crisscross the arms in front. Inhale, arms goalpost out to the sides. Exhale to crisscross. 3 more rounds just like this with your breath. Knowing that we're channeling both the inner and outer line of both of our arms, which run parallel, lung and large intestine, to one another. And we're working a lot with the shoulders and the arms today. Inhaling. Maybe on your next exhalation, let that exhalation completely go. An audible exhale all the way out. Awesome. Next inhalation, draw your arms into a goalpost shape just for a moment. Take notice of where your elbows are, and you're going to take your block and slide just the upper outer edge of the block right underneath your elbow on both sides. So we're coming into what's called it's another angel's shape. We're doing fallen angels, but this one's more of a like a sleeping angel shape. So your arms are goal posted. The edge of the elbows, in fact, if it's easier, you can actually just press the elbows onto the blocks with your fingertips to the sky first. And then as you take your next exhalation, you're drawing your right palm downwards, almost like a scarecrow arm, and your left fingertips go upwards. So the elbows are on the blocks, but you're alternating, moving the arms into these scarecrow shapes, side to side. Beautiful. Inhale to reset through center, fingertips face the sky. Exhale, right palm faces downward, left arm goes upward. Few rounds of breath just like that. Noticing maybe the rotation in the shoulders, in the arms. This helps with tech neck as well. And you can deepen the shape any amount more by allowing the arm or the hand as it comes over toward to face above you, kind of to go a little bit backward, almost facing toward the floor. Gets a little deeper. An invitation to keep the head steady, or maybe you start to turn the head to look at one of the arms side to side. 3 more rounds of breath just like this. Just want to check in and make sure everyone's got it. Oh, beautiful. Awesome. Awesome job. And then when you come back, allow both hands to come back through center. Fingertips face the sky, elbows on the block. Give yourself a moment here. You can slide the blocks off to the side. Invitation to interlace the hands behind the back of the head and the neck just for a moment. You can keep the feet on the mat with the knees bent, but maybe bring them to about hips width distance if you had a constructive rest shape here. And just taking a full round of breath in and a full round of breath out. We'll invite some very gentle pelvic tilts here and just gently wake up the lower body ever so much. So on your next inhalation, imagining the pelvis tipping forward, almost like there's an imaginary string on the belly button, lifting the low back off the mat. And as you take your next exhalation, flatten the low back on the mat, and maybe the tailbone tips to the sky, navel to spine. Inhaling, reverse that action, pelvic tilting forward. Exhaling, taking a moment to flatten the low back. It's such a subtle amount of movement, but as we approach fall, these subtle moments are very important. So can we remain in awe of even these tiny movements that sustain us on a daily basis? Next inhalation, as the navel draws toward the sky and the low back comes up off the mat. Invitation as you take your exhalation to draw the right knee in towards you and maybe lift the head, neck, chest, and shoulders slightly above the mat. Inhale to lower that back down. Exhale, maybe the left knee hugs in. The most mindful, yin-like, soft sit-ups. I don't even want to say that word, but they're like gentle crunches. And only one more round on each side. Awesome. The next time you lower the head, neck, chest, and shoulders, release the hands. Come to hug the knees in towards you. Give yourself a moment. Find a gentle rocking side to side here. You can also invite the hands onto the knees and make some circles in the sky. And the next time that the knees hug in towards you, allow them to take an extra little snuggle here. And then one last thing on our back bodies, step the feet back onto the mat, keep the knees bent. Draw the arms down by your side body, palms facing the earth. And then this comes into what I call angel wings. So taking your hand and let's try your right hand first and slide it underneath your low back. And just notice any sensation that comes from that. Invitation to just take it on that side only for a few rounds of breath. And if you're not feeling a lot of sensation, maybe you're sliding the left hand underneath the small of your low back as well. And acclimating to that for a few rounds of breath. Again, option to take it at a half side, so maybe right side first, and then the left side or both sides, but breathing in to wherever you are feeling this in this moment. And if you're not feeling anything, you can keep both of those hands where they are, but maybe start to walk them up higher on your back. That will perhaps invite a little bit more sensation in this shape. Trust me, it's a little more intense if you do that. So if you try that and you're like, whoa, back off, but give yourself a moment to find your edge for the next few rounds of breath right where you are. And sometimes you notice the body starts to soften when you're there for a few moments. So can you be in awe of all that the body does to give us information and feedback in these shapes? Bottom of your next exhalation, take a moment to slowly release the arms out from underneath you. Come to notice any release of sensation from all that very gentle movement. And then whenever you feel ready, hug the knees back in towards you. Invitation to find stillness here or to rock a little bit side to side. Or you can start to rock a little bit forward and back. And eventually you'll either roll to your side body or come to rise up into any kind of comfortable seat of your choosing. As you come into your comfortable seated posture, invitation to slide your blanket underneath your seat or your bolster. We're not here for long, and you have options in this seat. You can sit in an easy seat. You can sit in what we call heroes or seiza, hips to heels, if that feels more comfortable for you. But just give yourself a moment to land in this shape. On your next inhalation, draw your hands forward, almost like you're pressing them into a wall. And then keep your right hand where it is, but draw your left fingertips downward. Take the right hand to just gently, a little bit of pressure on the outer edge of your left palm. We're getting into the wrists a little bit here. Breathing in and breathing out. Next inhalation, take a moment to flip your left fingertips to face the sky. Same action, take the right hand toward the left fingertips and maybe press them a little bit back this time. Anytime the mind wanders, invite it back to that gentle affirmation, breathing in the word in, breathing out the word awe. And very gently release that down. Take a pause right where you are. Draw the shoulders forward and up as you breathe in, down and back as you breathe out. And then gently switch the rotation of your shoulders in the opposite direction. And soften the shoulders gently away from the ears. Give yourself a moment to land here. This time, draw the hands both out like you're high-fiving each other on the screens. But this time, take the left hand and draw your right fingertips downward. Left hand comes to the outer edge of this right hand. And just a gentle amount of pressure. Breathing in here. Breathing out. In awe that all our arms and our hands and our shoulders do for us every single day. Next inhalation, flip the right palm to face the sky, or no, flip the right fingertips to face the sky. Take the left hand to the fingers and gently draw them back. A little bit of a stretch here, opposite side, full breath in, full breath out. And then gently release that down. Hands come back into your lap. Take a moment to alternate the shoulder circles. It's a tongue twister when I say this. Shoulder circles, side to side. Almost like you're doing like a little shimmy here. And then switch the direction of those alternating shoulder circles. And gently soften the shoulders away from the ears whenever you feel ready, softening at the base of the neck. And then take your time here. If you were in an easy seat, just switch the crossing of your legs. If you're in a hero's or a symmetrical shape like Seiza, stay exactly where you are. One last thing as we're here. Invitation to tent the fingertips back behind you. And just open the heart a little bit forward, looking gently up toward the sky. Big breath in. And as you exhale, walk the hands forward, finding a seated forward fold. Big breath out. Inhale, super slowly walk the hands all the way back through center. We're going to take our time to make our way onto our front bodies. So we're getting into the shoulders again here with an open wing and a closed wing. So open wing we've done before, where you take one arm out to the side and just find a little bit of stressing of this particular part of our body. And then closed wing crisscrosses the arms in front of us. Have your blocks nearby. That we're going to use them in lots of different ways. You can also have your blanket nearby. Just slide it kind of off to the side for now. Just make sure it's not in the way of the shape. So as you come down, we'll start in a crocodile shape, Makrasana, just prone on the front body. Make a little pillow with your palms. Extend the legs out long on the mat in front of you. And just shimmy the hips a little bit side to side. Give yourself a moment to land here. Take a bend in both of your knees, almost like you're stepping your feet onto the sky, and just roll through the ankles. And then gently roll through the ankles in the opposite direction. And then soften the tops of the feet gently back down to the mat. On your next inhalation, draw your arms into a T shape out to either side. Slide your right hand underneath your right shoulder. Bend into your right knee. Press into your right hand and lift your right hip up off the mat. Lots of options here. You can take the right toes over to the left side of the mat. Maybe it's meeting a block or a blanket that's there. You can stack the right leg on top of the left leg or bend into your knees, stacking knees, hips, and ankles here. But no matter what, you're breathing into the spaces where you feel sensation here. And an additional option is to take your top arm and maybe draw it back a little bit toward the left-hand side. It'll hover, but allow it to find some space here. Breathing in, breathing out in this open wing shape. On your next exhalation, take a moment here. If you had lifted the right arm to the sky, draw it back down to the mat. If your right toes were over to the left side of the mat, just start to soften them on top of that left leg and then roll all the way back through center. Give yourself a moment, come back into your crocodile. Make a pillow with your palms. Gently notice any release of sensation on the left side of the body, or even the right. Invitation to shimmy the hips here. Maybe take them a little bit side to side. And then on your next exhalation, draw the arms back into a T. We're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. But this time you're going to take a bend into your left hand, press your left palm, bend into your left arm, press your left hand onto the earth, bend into your left knee, take the left toes to the sky. And same options here. Invitation to press into the left hand as you roll off the left hip. Maybe you're stacking the left leg on top of the right leg. Maybe you're taking the left toes over to the right hand side of the mat. No matter where you're at, you're breathing in here, and gently breathing out. So Noticing if you like to stay where you are, find another option, find a depth that works best for you. And then the final add is if you wish to take the left arm to the sky and somewhere back behind you. Breathing in and gently breathing out. Coming back to your affirmation to be in awe of all that our body can do in all these shapes. Bottom of your next exhale, if you had lifted the left arm up, draw it gently down back to the mat. Left leg meets right leg, if they're not already there. And then slowly soften back onto the earth, onto both hip points. Make that same pillow with your palms, finding them across enough for just a moment. And then before we come into our closed wing shape, slide the hands gently underneath your shoulders and just gently come to rise up through a tabletop shape. As you come through your table, we're coming into a melted heart. So this can go lots of different ways here. You can take a block underneath your forehead, but walk your hands forward. You can do a half melting heart here as well. Hands are coming forward, forehead comes onto the earth. Hips stay lifted. So this is more of a puppy and a yang shape and what we call melted heart in yoga, in yin yoga. Breathing in here and gently breathing out. If you'd like to add more sensation, maybe you lose the block underneath your head. If you need to back off some of the sensation, you can take a bend into one of your forearms and only take this as a half shape. But breathing in here, and gently breathing out. If you took this as a half shape, just take a moment to switch sides. Maybe take a bend into your opposite forearm and allow them. If you're in the full shape, stay here just for a few more rounds of your breath. Breathing in the word in, breathing out the word awe. On your next inhalation, draw both hands back underneath your shoulders. Start to press yourself gently up into your tabletop shape. Take a moment just to arrive here. And from here, tuck your toes gently behind you. Take your hands about a handprint in front of you. We're taking a small pause. Press into your hands and your feet and just lift the hips back and up. Find your downward facing dog just for a moment. You can bend into one knee and the other knee. This is more of a counter shape. We're not here for long. Awesome. And then slowly soften the knees gently back down to the earth. Give yourself a moment. Come back down to the front body. We're coming into what we call closed wing, and it's a crisscross shape. So if we start in Sphinx, coming onto your forearms, pressing the forearms into the earth, but take your right hand behind your left elbow and walk it out toward the left-hand side of your mat. And before you get too comfortable here, take your block and bring it to the front of your mat. This will be for your head, and you can alternate where it goes. Take the left forearm in front of the right forearm and then walk that out to the right-hand side. So it's like a crisscross shape. And then you're gonna rest your head. So as you come here, you're pausing and then you're softening down. Sometimes you can bring the block up to a higher block setting. You can press your forearms into the earth. You can make it even more kind of twisted here, making the arms go further out toward the opposite sides. But allow ease in the lower body and breathe in where you are in the upper body. Notice if you're gripping, and allow your breath to soften into the spots where you may be gripping in this shape. On your next inhalation, slowly lifting your head up if it was resting on the block. Start to unwind gently out of this shape. Take your blocks almost in the exact shape they were earlier when we were making those scarecrow arms. But this time, you're going to tuck the blocks underneath the inner edge of your shoulders. So like the tips of the shoulders are meeting the block, inner edge of the block, and you'll rest your head on the earth. Arms are just gently behind you. So your whole upper part of your arm are resting on the block. This gets really into those particular spots we were working with. Also good for tech neck. Breathing in here and breathing out. Awesome. And if you notice that your head feels a little dangly and not comfortable, you can slide your blanket in underneath the front of your forehead. And 30 more seconds here. Your next inhalation, slowly release the blocks out and off to the side. Give yourself just a little moment of a crocodile shape here. Make the pillow with your palms, or even if you want to leave your arms resting behind and alongside you, you can just rest on one cheek, but just pausing here for a moment before we switch to the other side of our closed wing. Next inhalation, super slowly come to rise back up into your Sphinx shape. Take a moment to find the Sphinx, pressing the forearms into the earth, drawing this time the left hand behind your right elbow, walking that left hand to the outer edge of the right mat. Take the right hand in front of the left and bring the right hand to the outer edge of the left mat, or the left side of the mat. Block can be on any setting to support your head. Maybe this side is different for you. Perhaps it feels more easeful. No judgment, just soften into the shape, breathing in exactly where you are. And a long breath out, remaining in awe of all the things that our shoulders and arms do for us. Just checking in on everyone. Beautiful. Next inhalation, slowly begin to unwind out of the shape. Slide the block off to the side. Draw your hands underneath your shoulders. Take a moment to press yourself up through your table. Option here to tuck the toes and lift yourself up and back into a downward facing dog as a counter shape if you wish. Or you can take yourself into your table, but definitely round into the back body. Find a moment here just to counter the shapes that we just did. You can even press back hips to heels into a child's. All of these are options for you. Find what feels most accessible to you. Breathing into that space. Gently breathing out. And then on your next inhalation, come back through your table from wherever you are. We're going to very briefly come to a dangle and then a standing shape, but only to eventually come back down to the earth, I promise. So take a moment to lift the hips back and up, find your downward facing dog. Take a moment to walk your feet toward your hands and your hands toward your feet. Don't come up just yet. Take your blocks with you. Bring them on the highest setting and take your feet about hips width distance. We're finding a dangle here just for a moment to counter some of the shapes that we've done. And in your dangle, you can shake your head yes. You can shake your head no. In yang, this is more of a forward fold. Deep breath in, slow breath out. Move the blocks back to the sides of the mat. Gently draw your hands back to the earth. Step back into your downward facing dog on your next exhalation. Inhale, soften the knees down to the earth. Find your table and then just take a moment, swing your legs out in front of you. This is the last thing before Shavasana. And as you swing the legs out in front of you, allow them to be a little soft. They don't really have to do a lot of work here, so let them kind of roll out to the sides if you want to. This is called lounging monkey. And you can do it with a bolster if you want to. You can take your bolster behind you. You're bringing your arms behind you as well. Fingertips have choices. You can have the fingertips facing toward the opposite side of your feet. You can have your fingertips facing toward your feet. You can also have your fingertips facing the side of your mat. If you want more sensation, you're walking your arms out a little bit further. This gets a little bit differently into the arms and the shoulders, but you're breathing in here. And if you find a locking in your elbows, soften that and come back off just slightly out of it. We don't want any locking here. But breathing in here, breathing out. This is a shape we don't often do with our arms. So it's probably, your arms are probably resisting. But breathing in here, noticing how the shoulders feel. How the arms feel, how the hands feel, how the wrists feel. Staying with that breath, reminding yourself, breathing in the word in, breathing out the word ah. And then on your next inhalation, you're super slowly coming all the way back up through center and coming to prepare yourself for the wind down. We'll do one thing while we're on our back bodies, but take your bolster, place it on your mat towards the bottom third of your mat. Take your blanket and bring it to the top of your mat for your head and your neck. Blocks can be on either side if you wish. Take a moment to find your way into this final shape, and you'll have the option to move out if you don't wish to rest on your back body. But as you're here just for a moment, step your feet onto your bolster. Slide your feet toward the outer edge of your bolster and draw your arms into a T shape out to either side. And just windshield wiper the knees a little bit side to side here. The next time the knees draw in through center, extend your left leg long on your bolster or the mat, and then hug your right knee gently in towards you. Invitation to take your right arm out to the right hand side. Maybe the left hand comes to the outer edge of your right knee and you draw it a little bit across your body toward the left for a gentle twist. It's easeful as we're here. Inhale back to center. Send your right leg long on the bolster. Gently switch sides. Hug your left knee in towards you. Take a moment to soften in that shape. Invitation to take your right hand to the outer edge of your left knee. Maybe the left arm goes out to the left hand side. Maybe you're drawing that left knee across your body a little or a lot toward the right. The bolster will kind of stop you from going as far. This is more of a gentle twist. Inhale slowly back to center. Take a moment, let both legs go long on the bolster in front of you. Give yourself just one more opportunity here to take any other movements that you wish. You can take a happy baby, maybe hug the knees in, draw the hands to the outer edge of the feet. Maybe they're grabbing the big toes. Anything that you would like here. And then very gently beginning to make your way as you feel ready, into your Shavasana. You can extend the legs long, stay where you are. You can roll to your side body, maybe slide something between the knees, hips, and ankles. You can even roll to the front body. Just make this Shavasana yours. And as you land here in your Shavasana, give yourself an opportunity to arrive in this shape. I'll guide us through a really mini version of a Nidra practice, starting with the hands. So as you make your way into this final shape of class, invitation to revisit that intention that we set at the beginning of class. Perhaps it's the affirmation of being in awe. And allowing this to gently plant into your heart center as you soften into this final shape. And then from here, start to become aware of both of your hands, the palms of both hands. Feeling both hands gently alive with a sense of energy. And then notice the inner part of both arms. And letting that energy gently travel up the inner part of the arm to that fleshy part of the elbow, the shoulders, across the collarbones, right where they meet at throat center. And then allow that energy gently to flow back down from throat center, out along the collarbones and some of those meridian lines we channeled, to the shoulders, but this time traveling down the outer edge of your arm. Outer edge of shoulder, outer edge of elbow, outer edge of the forearm, and the backs of the palms. And imagining that energy traveling all the way back up the inside of both of the arms, to the shoulders, to the collarbones, to your throat center, traveling up the neck, softening all the muscles of the face and the eyes, and softening at the top of the head. And then feel the head and the neck softening gently together, along with the shoulders, the chest. The upper torso, the mid torso, and the low torso. The upper back, the mid back, and the low back. Bringing awareness to both hips, thighs, knees, lower legs, feet, and toes. Soles of both feet. The whole back body, the whole front body, your whole body resting for the next few rounds of quiet meditation just for you. allowing yourself to continue resting here if rest is what's calling for you. To gently begin to back my voice out and to continue to rest in awe of all that your body has done for you during today's practice. If you're choosing to start to begin to close our time together today, beginning to invite a little bit of movement back into the palms of both of the hands. Maybe circling out gently at the wrists. Maybe inviting a little bit of movement into the feet and the ankles, wiggling of the toes, circling of the ankles. And then gently beginning to draw the knees in towards you, one knee at a time if you're resting on the back body, to give yourself a great big hug here. Maybe rocking a little bit side to side, maybe inviting some circles with the knees in one direction. And then gently rolling over to your side body, finding a gentle pause right where you are. Gently pressing up to find a comfortable seated posture of your choosing. Taking your time, there's absolutely no rush. And once you rise up into that comfortable seat, give yourself just a moment to draw the hands toward one another in Anjali Mudra, or even rest your hands at your heart or in your lap. But no matter where you're at, take a full breath in, long breath out, bowing to all that your body and your breath and your mind can do for you during Yin Yoga, and being in awe of that for the rest of your day. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I wish you so much peace, 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 Yinsters. Thank you, thank you, thank you.